Hey everyone, welcome back to World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore and our Human Paladin. I appreciate you joining me today, and I hope you are all doing well. Today we are back in the Red Ridge Mountains. We've got whelps, murlocs, and orcs to deal with. So let's go ahead and pick up those quests we temporarily dropped several episodes ago, as well as a few new ones potentially. Let's get started. We've got one right away from Guard Howe here.
Need help?
On this side of the bridge. Blackrock Bounty, I can't remember if there are multiple versions of this quest. But let's just go ahead and read this one anyway, just in case. The Blackrock clan must be destroyed. The enemy has invaded our lands. These mountains fall under the sovereign right of the King of Stormwind. Our sources tell us that the leaders of each unit within the clan are known as champions. You'll find them in their encampment to the north, just west of the road to the Burning Steps. Magistrate Solomon wants these foul brutes dead. Slay 15 Blackrock champions and return to me.
For the Alliance.
So interestingly enough, that sends us north. And you know what? That does make sense because I believe the other Blackrock related quest is to pick up some axes. And I think that quest in particular probably tells us to go to the east. So I don't know about taking on these champions. I suppose we could look at our quest log. Yeah, the quest is orange to us, so we're definitely not going to be working through that right away.
How are you?
Right from Foreman Oslo, we have the Everstill Bridge. During the last orc invasion, we were forced to smelt our iron down to make bullets, swords, and armor. We sent word to Stormwind for a new shipment of materials, but a band of Red Ridge gnolls hijacked the caravan and ran off into the hills behind Lakeshire. Now we're coming up short on supplies to get this bridge rebuilt. If you can bring me 5 iron pikes and 5 iron rivets, Sedalian, I'll make sure you are rewarded. Now let's get to work.
Have a good one.
The gnoll encampments up north might be doable. Quest is yellow to us.
What can I do for you? Be careful.
And we've got a baying of gnolls from Werner Osgood. As if the attacking orcs weren't enough, now I have gnoll brutes and mystics prowling along the ridge north of my stable, taking my horses when they stray. If you can get rid of those gnolls, my horses and I would be very grateful.
See you later.
So that should relate to the pikes and rivets that we need to collect. So that should be fine. Let's go see what these quests are.
You need something? Safe travels.
Yep, selling fish we've picked up before, so we don't need to read through this.
See
you
you
can
later.
just grab it.
See you around. Safe
And
travel.
Murloc poachers as well, I believe we've had before. Just simply killing Murlocs for some
King's honor,
materials.
friend.
And this one we are not going to be working on. Yeah, Targor the Dread.
Light blood.
And these are elite Blackrock orcs located within the fortress in the east. Those quests are never going to be doable. Honestly, they're quite scary even if you have a group. But certainly not on our own in any scenario. So there's nothing here in the inn, but we'll head up the hill here to our right. See if we might be missing anything from the cook and anybody else in this area. Yeah, Marty Jane Rose has the quest for Belly Grub, I believe, which I think Belly Grub's level 24, so maybe not. It might not be the best use of our time.
Farewell.
I think we might try to leave that one alone if we can. At least for a little while longer. We're going to check in with Magistrate Solomon real quick within Town Hall, and then I think we are ready to go. Got lots of options, lots to do. I think we'll probably end up being here for a couple of episodes before we move over to Kalimdor and take on Ashenvale and Darkshore again. Got a
Good day
quest
to you.
from the Bailiff. This is the Shadowhide Pendant. I know for a fact we're
Seal.
not ready for that quest yet. That one's going to be a bit tougher. I think we're going to wait until we're probably in our late 20s before we can take that on. So with that being said, we've got our marching orders. I think I'm going to head back across the bridge here first, and we're going to collect those underbelly scales from the black dragon whelps. And there's going to be plenty of these to kill on our way to the eastern side of the zone. And yeah, I think we'll deal with the battle-worn axes at Render's Valley. Let's make sure that we have that quest actually, because I don't remember seeing it. But I can't remember if we had gotten rid of it. Yeah, okay, we still have it. That quest is going to be a challenge, I think. The orcs hit quite hard, and they're going to be yellow to us, I think, for the most part. We're not going to kill enough black dragon whelps to level up. And I knew I was going to do that at some point. I accidentally clicked on Lay on Hands, of course. I knew giving it a similar keybind to the bandages was a bad idea. But it's such a quick key binding to get to that I like having it there. I'm going to have to move this and put it somewhere else. I'll put it on different keybind. Alright, well, we're going to have to be extra careful now for today's episode. We haven't had... I think we might have used Lay on Hands one time so far in this playthrough. We really haven't needed it all that often. Now I realize we're getting hit by another one. Let's get those flash of lights out. I think we'll be okay from here. This is definitely, typically the level range where I lose most of my characters, so I've got to take that into account. I have very rarely passed level 30 with most of these challenges. Right, we are up to 4 underbelly scales at this point. Just need a couple more. Drop rate's been pretty decent. And now we just need one more. Go, that is our final scale. And just in time, we are now entering Render's Valley. We'll be targeting Blackrock Grunts and Outrunners, and they're going to be, well, there's some of them that are green. Some of them are going to be level 19, which would be ideal as much as possible. Fortunately, this is a quest that you typically can't be too picky with. As the axes are pretty hard to come by, and very often can be the case that you clear out the entire camp and have to wait for respawns. Let's try our luck against a level 21. Pretty evenly matched enemy. Okay, the Outrunners have nets, and they enrage. This is normally when I would pop Hammer of Justice, but I want to see how much damage exactly this is going to do if we don't. It's a lot, and luckily the enrage isn't permanent. It does have like a time limit on it. But what I've learned from that is if we pull more than one, we should probably run away. Unless unless our current target is about to die. So that seems like a lot. It looks like we might not even have a choice in some of these cases. 2 Outrunners at the same time seems ridiculous, but maybe we can pull one of them away. Yeah, we can. Okay. Alright, this is where we're going to hang out for quite a while. This is one of those quests that could take quite a long time to complete, or we can get lucky, so let's see what happens with our situation. It's also good to know that they run away when their health is low, even when they're enraged. I know sometimes when you have like an enrage effect, the enemy that you're facing can sometimes, not run away when they normally would if they weren't enraged. But in this case, it does look like if we can get them low enough that they will run away. It would also be nice to know exactly what being enraged is. I'm not sure if it's just simply a boost in damage, or who knows, maybe it's a boost in like attack speed or critical strike chance or something. Or some sort of combination of all of those things, I don't know. Well, let's take on a grunt that is also somewhat close to our level. And we'll see what they can do in comparison. So far they seem to be far less threatening, at least. And they seem to run earlier. Seem to run away with more HP. Oh my goodness, we just picked up a BOE blue. Mage Fist gloves. Holy cow. I mean, we can't use them. But we can store it in our bank. Because if and correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't think I've ever really done this before, but if we end up dying, I think we can transfer this character to an era realm or something, or the anniversary realm maybe. If we keep this in our bank, hopefully like we keep our stuff when that transfer happens, because these probably sell for a lot. I imagine twinks, caster twinks would go crazy for something like this. Really, really cool. Typically whenever I get a BOE blue, it's happened to me many times, but typically it's something pretty terrible that like nobody would use. It would have like intellect and agility on it or something. And Blackrock boots as well. Those are also pretty decent if we were able to wear greens. Something else I've been thinking about as well is, I think once we pick up our level 22 upgrades, once we're able to buy all of that gear, I'm thinking about picking up a one-hander and a shield. Probably a sword. I'd probably do a sword for one-handed. We'd have to level up the weapon skill, obviously, which would be a pain, but I would like to see what the difference is. Obviously, we're not going to be dealing as much damage that way, at least in theory. But we're gonna be a lot tankier. We're gonna gain the ability to block first of all, and the shield is gonna provide us with a hefty chunk of armor, which is about the only stat that we could actually increase, since we're not playing with any greens or blues or anything. Yeah, so that might happen fairly shortly. We'll see how long it takes to build up the necessary funds to get that next armor set. And I just realized after all of this killing, we just picked up our first battle-worn axe. And you see what I mean here. We took out nearly the entire camp, at least everything that's not, all the enemies that are not like directly next to each other, and we got one axe. So this might be a situation where we just have to come back periodically for it, but I will have to figure out where we're going to go next. And honestly, it's kind of awkward, I guess, the way that we're currently set up. Well, I suppose it's not too bad. We could take on the Murlocs at Lake Everstill. That's not too far away. See some Blackrock Renegades over here. I kind of want to read the quest again because I don't know if they drop them or not. Looks like you can kill any of them according to this. But I don't even know if we want to touch the Renegades anyway. And this one's level 21, so maybe we can get away with this one. And we're going with Sword and Board, or I should say Mason Board. And also Enrage, it looks like. That wasn't too much worse than the Outrunners, and they do actually drop what we need, so... Should be expecting more and more respawns soon. Let's be careful. Yeah, I can see some over to our left. Well, we've hit the halfway point at least. Honestly, in my experience, that is not too bad. I've been here for much longer in some cases. And these guys haven't been too bad. We haven't yet run into the risk of pulling more than one. And even though sometimes they can give us a hard time, especially if we miss some of our hits, we've never been put into any real danger. That is something that would be beneficial as far as having a one-handed weapon and a shield. It would be more consistent damage, I suppose. Still be less overall for sure, but it would be more predictable, at least since your weapon is moving so much faster. And would you look at that, we are actually not very far from level 23. I don't know why I got into my head that this rested experience wasn't going to be enough. It looks like we're in for a slightly easier time if that's the case against some of these orcs. See a hunter's mark in the distance. Looks like we've got some competition. That was good while it lasted, I suppose. Couldn't really ask for much more, besides maybe a little extra luck. With that kill, we've just picked up our 8 battle-worn axe, which is great, and we hit level 23. 14 unspent talent points. That number still doesn't seem too crazy to me, but I imagine if we are able to make it to level 30, seeing that be 20, 21 points is gonna feel a little bit different, I think. This is nice. Now the level 20s are green to us. Should increase our survivability and our damage at the same time. Not seeing too many other orcs that we can kill at the moment. We got one over here. Wonder where that hunter just went. He could be trying to get into the hills. Back here, maybe. I feel like we could take 2-on-1 here because of the extra level. I don't know if it's still worth even trying, but we're gonna go for it. Well, it looks like the hunter could potentially take one from us. Doesn't look like he wants to. A double enrage here. Yeah, it looks like he's gonna move on, so lose our divine protection. We'll heal back up, and his enrage should be over soon. Now we don't have any cooldowns. I mean, we've got Blessing of Protection, I guess, in 30 seconds, but that's it. So we gotta be careful. It looks like we need one more axe, and then we will be done with Render's Valley. We just picked up our last axe. Perfect. Stuck a little bit too close to this outrunner, though. Well, I think the hunter hearthed away, so we're not going to have a clear path on the way out, I don't think. Let's go up on top of this hill here. We'll take a quick break. Gotta get our mana back anyway. And in the meantime, we can craft some bandages. We can only craft 5 more of the linen bandages, but we do now have some wool cloth that we can utilize. Which we'll start using up soon. Can't go through the hills that way, so we'll wrap back around. Looks like we got one more to deal with before we might be in the clear. We might have to take out some more of those black dragon whelplings on the way back. We're looking to get back to the main road so we can take on some of the murlocs. I don't know what would be safer as far as taking on those murlocs would be. There's the murlocs here in the southern portion of the region, and then there's the murlocs on the opposite side of the lake that are closer to Lakeshire. I guess it just depends which... We'll have to try out both spots, probably. And which one's going to be best is going to be whichever doesn't have so many tightly packed enemies. Just a spot where we can pick them off. I know that there are some caster enemies that we're going to have to worry about and deal with. And those are going to be a far more of a pain to pull away and deal with. On the Lake Ridge Highway, and we're over by the murlocs at the moment. It looks like some of them can be peeled away potentially. The Tide Callers cast frostbolts. That is not fun, and they don't move from their spot either, and they run. So there's kind of a lot going against us there. We'll save the Murloc fins in a different bag just so we make sure that we don't vendor those, since they are venderable. This is the spot that I typically look at, but this looks a bit too crowded for my liking. We might want to consider trying out the spot across the lake. There are also Murlocs underneath the lake itself. And even though I'm not a big fan, obviously, in hardcore, taking on any water-based combat, since there are no easy ways to escape, if we're careful and we can and we're able to only pick out one at a time, then it might be the best way to go, especially if those enemies do not cast spells. Then it would definitely be preferable. So we're going to go ahead and swim across Lake Everstill. And we're going to kind of see what it looks like underneath the waves. We want to avoid the lake threshers. Oh my god, yeah. So if we have to deal with those as well, then maybe the lake isn't going to be great. Level 25 elite would absolutely destroy us. And I don't even know if we'd be able to get away. from it if it did aggro us. So I'm not seeing any murlocs at the moment, but that might be because a player, looks like there's a player here taking them out. But these scouts are what we would definitely want to take on. This warrior is definitely very smart. We're taking on the ones that are closer to Lakeshire here. Do they have ranged attacks is my question now. Back up a little bit. I don't want to take on 2 of them if we don't have to, at least in the beginning. Of course, they're right on top of each other, though. Like, at least with this camp, if we pull multiples and we have to get away, we can at least have a chance. Like, we're going to be pretty close to the shoreline. Let's take these both on. See how quickly we can kill the flesh eater. Of course, you've also got the unfortunate part about not being able to drink or eat anything while you're in the water. But yeah, this is definitely going to be the spot for sure. And then like anything else like underneath the waves that are not too dangerous. It's going to take us a little bit of time, I think, to clear these out. So we'll spend a little bit more time this episode trying to work through these. Might be a common theme that we're going to be pulling 2 at a time. But honestly, I'd rather pull 2 of these at a time than pull 1 tide collar and then accidentally pull another one somehow. So then we'd be in a lot of trouble. Yeah, we'll take on some of this now, and then I think in a few minutes or so, we'll go ahead and turn in our other quests. And then in the next episode, I think we'll start back up working on these murlocs. Yeah, it really feels like these flesh eaters and these scouts come in pairs. They're always like right next to each other. And we're going to have to reel back a little bit. Don't see any others that we can take out at the moment. And the nice part about this spot too is that if we do run out of stuff, we can just head straight north and work on the Knoll quest, which is going to be our next step. for now, since we are lacking some enemies to kill, let's head back into Lakeshire and turn in our quests. Alright, so for Marshal
What
Maris,
can I do for you?
we've got the Blackrock Menace.
Or the Alliance?
That makes for a lot fewer orcs to worry about. Thanks.
Life bless you.
Outrunners and Renegades are running up ambushes. Yeah, I think this one's an elite as well, or if he's not an elite enemy, he's
Be careful.
surrounded by by other orcs. He's got a posse with him. So we'll leave that one alone too. And in the meantime, we'll speak with Mr. Werner Osgood.
Hey there. See you around.
I know that greedy Argus will send someone to collect his scales if I don't give them to him soon. Have you found those scales yet? That's right, he was collecting underbelly whelp scales to pay Argus back in Goldshire, I think he is. Because he didn't have the proper payment. Thanks. These will get me out of debt to Argus.
Have a good one.
Nothing further to investigate there. Let's go ahead and vendor
Open for
our
business.
bags.
Safe travels.
Open up these shells first.
Looking for something
Never know when we
specific?
can get a pearl or something that'll be worth a little bit extra. I'm vendoring that shield we picked up too because I'm sure we can get a much better one by purchasing it. So we're at 2 gold, 55 silver. We're about 2/3 of the way from level 24. We know we're going to need a gold and a half. But we've got our 8-slot bags now, so we
See
don't
you
have
later.
to worry about that anymore, which is good. And so I think we can start focusing on purchasing new gear pieces. And you know what? Maybe there's an armorer in town. Can't remember. Yeah, Doran Songblade. And he's just got the regular scale mail stuff.
Can I help you?
Got a shield crafter here as well.
Have a good one.
Might be speaking with you at some point. Yeah, so I'm not sure. We'll have to figure out exactly how much the next set costs. I remember it being pretty expensive for what we were getting, but we do have a solid gold to spend right now, which might be good for like 1 or 2 major pieces at the very least from that, whatever that new set is. And we have to keep in mind that as far as the weapon is concerned, weapon upgrades moving forward, the Stormwind Armory, at least the one right in the trade district, doesn't have any other upgrades for us. So we're going to have to poke around. I don't know. We might have to just get lucky with gray and white maces that, or any two-handed weapon really that can just randomly drop out in the world. But I don't know what our next weapon upgrade is. So it's a little bit of a predicament. We'll have to see how it goes. Being stuck with, a low 20s weapon is going to be far too difficult at some point. It's going to really start biting us in the butt. But we'll see. This character is all about the exploration, being curious. I'm sure we can stumble upon something that's going to help us. In the meantime, I think I'm going to stop it right here for now. As always, I appreciate you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you back here in Red Ridge. Bye for now.